Hello YouTube and welcome to What the Math. In this video I wanted to take a look at a very awesome and quite serious game called This War of Mine. Now this is actually a game that I wouldn't even call a game, it's more of an art piece that explores the idea of civil war and the horrors that come with war. This game actually came out just around the time when the civil war in Ukraine started, so it does have a kind of a really emotional and really personal approach to how you actually explore not only the war itself but also the video game genre. Now, for me as a teacher that likes to use video games in class, I think this is actually a perfect example of where video games are headed and why I think more teachers should be using games in class, because this right here is a perfect example of a game that explores the idea of war, humanity, and does a much better job than many books. So I would even recommend this for us in English or a humanities class. So I'm gonna not continue my game anymore. I'm gonna start a new game just to show you what this game is all about and how this works. And essentially it's a survival game where your job is to survive a civil war or any kind of a war really. And it works in day cycles. There's a day and night cycle. And essentially you are a team of 3 people, or you start as a team of 3 people, but it can either increase or decrease with time depending on your choices in the game. And these 3 people have to work together to survive these horrors. So usually you start in this house right here that already has a bit of supplies for you just to kind of start off. And each of the 3 characters you get in the beginning, they have random skills or random strengths and weaknesses. So right now we get these 2 guys and 1 girl, and you can actually read about their biography as well. So this guy right here, Bruno, he's apparently a good cook. Before the war he used to own a restaurant. We have Katya, who is a reporter, or was a reporter, and then we also have Pavle, who he was a football player, a professional football player. And these characters are they're pre-made, but usually the order or the characters that you get to play as are randomized. So sometimes you get another character, sometimes you get someone else. So first thing you want to do in here is obviously start scavenging and looking for things like food and medicine, because as you will discover really quickly in this game, it's really difficult to live day after day when there's a war going around you and there's no steady supply of food or anything else. So what I'm doing right now is I'm scavenging for these items that are then added to my inventory. Some of them will appear right here as food and some of them will appear right here as medicine. I'm also collecting different things like wood that can be used to either make fire or to construct things like beds, for example. There's also sugar, which apparently is important for fermentation, which is of course important to make moonshine. And moonshine in this game is a sort of like an antidepressant, because your characters can get really sad and potentially even kill themselves. So there's quite a lot of various topics and various themes in this game. It's a very, very deep game. It's a very sad and depressing game, but it's absolutely amazing. This is actually one of the better survival games I've played in a very, very long time. It came out in early 2015 and has advanced quite a lot since its early release. A lot of upgrades, a lot of updates have been actually launched to make this game even more awesome. So this is a day cycle. I'm gonna quickly run through the day cycle, collect everything I can here, and show you what the night cycle is as well. Okay, without proper tools I can't open this. I need a lockpick to open this door. So I'm gonna use this guy to construct something. There's a construction set right here, and what you can build is, well, we can build filters to get water. We can actually get a rainwater collector, which is something that I definitely need. I'm gonna make one right now and put it right here. I hear a dog barking somewhere nearby. We're also going to use Kari to open this door, and she's already slightly sick, so if she doesn't get any medicine, she can eventually get really sick and then obviously die. In my previous game I've lost one of the characters because I wasn't careful enough, and unfortunately he passed away. And the thing is, as you progress through different days and nights, your characters right here will start acquiring more thoughts. They'll actually start thinking about some of the choices you've made in the game. So, for example, sometimes you'll be required to make a really difficult choice. Do I steal from someone who's already sick, or do I, you know, try to endure and maintain my humanity? So some of these choices will be reflected on your characters, and of course they'll get more sad, more depressed, and potentially even, like I said, kill themselves. So right here we have something we haven't discovered yet. We're gonna look this up. Once you finish scavenging this area, you'll obviously have to start looking around other areas in this game and discover more houses, more locations where you can scavenge materials. And things can get very, very, very difficult and very dangerous as well, because some people here will obviously not let you take their stuff. They will obviously shoot you on sight. One of the ways I've lost one of my previous characters is by going to a location where a person was, you know, he didn't want me to take his stuff and he had weapons, so he actually shot my character. And that was very, very sad. Actually, you do get attached to these guys and girls, and at some point you'll feel horrible when you lose one. Actually, that's one of the reasons I wanted to start my game over, because I lost someone I really liked, and that someone was really, really essential to my survival. So I'm gonna use a lockpick to unlock this door, and we have to dig through this rubble to get to that other location. And we're gonna do the same here, because we want to see what's behind all of this. There's a lot of medicine that we need a lot of food. The priorities in this game are quite basic at first. You basically want to get as much food as you can. You want to get fresh water, which is why I've constructed the purifier, a rain purifier right here. And you also want to get medicine, because the characters will get sick and they will obviously, you know, they can get infected and die. There's quite a lot of random events in this game, a lot of really awesome ways of basically progressing and also either increasing or decreasing your character skills. And some of the events will be just really, you know, very personal, in the sense that they'll make you decide between life and death, be it your character's life and death or someone else's life and death, and you'll really have to think carefully before you make that choice. There's also some evil in this game, like there will be people trying to rob you, there will be people trying to steal and kill some of your steal your food and kill your characters, and sometimes you'll have to endure that as well. So let's just actually play through a few days, see how far we get. I wanted to make this a slightly longer review slash gameplay video, because this is a very awesome game and I really recommend this to many people. I think hopefully at some point education will advance to the point where we'll be using these games in class and students will learn about life through these games, not through books, because I think games have reached that advanced media level where the games are the new media. They're better than books, they're better than the movies. Okay, so we found some jewelry. We can actually trade this to a trader when he comes by, and I think I need to. Okay, so time's running out. The game is about to day one is about to finish, and I haven't built a bed. That's actually a bad. That was a bad thing to do. I need to make another water. So I do want to make a bed, so maybe I can actually do this right now with this guy. He's a fast runner, he'll get there in time. And Katya can actually try to... Oh no, she can't loot this. Okay, let's go dig through this stuff here. Alright, so I want a bed to sleep in. So these are some of the items you can construct right now. So there's a stove to cook, there's a moonshine to make alcohol to make yourself less depressed, metal workshop to get more advanced items, a rainwater collector. A radio is also for mood, because you can listen to music, but it also brings you some news. But what I want is a bed, because bed will make us less tired. I'm gonna put it right here. I didn't make it in time. Alright, so nighttime. So what happens at nighttime? You can choose for each of your characters to do different things. Now I think this guy right here, because he's a fast runner, is going to go scavenge. And I'm going to choose one of the locations. So there's actually, I know some of these locations already, and I'm going to try not to spoil them for you. But I want to go right here, because this right here says it's a quiet house. It's a It's in a housing estate that remains almost untouched. It's a calm area of little houses with porches and gardens. Most of the houses are still inhabited. People are trying to lead normal lives here. You've got nothing to look for there unless we're willing to steal. So there's a lot of food, a lot of medicine, a lot of parts. And so I'm going to choose this location. Katya, because she's slightly sick, she's going to sleep. And this guy right here, he's going to guard, because sometimes people come to steal things. If you don't guard, you'll regret it later. Let's prepare. We don't need to take anything with us because it's going to be quite a simple operation. So at night you get to scavenge, and here we are. So we arrived at this location. When this is over, I'm gonna buy myself a house like this. So this is obviously a neighborhood that has been untouched by the war, and we are here to collect things that they have. So this is obviously stealing, because there's probably people living in that house, and we are basically taking their things away. And this is where the morality comes into play. You have to decide, am I doing the right thing? How will this reflect on my character? Now you can see there's actually people here, and they're quite obviously old people, and they're talking. Of course, honey, it was long ago we met then, remember? So this is where you have to make a choice. Am I going to go in, or am I going to not go in and walk away from this? Now, I've done this before, and I know the right choice here, but I'm gonna show you what is going to happen if you walk inside. What is happening? Who are you? What happened? So I'm about to rob you, old man. I heard it's dangerous. We try not to go out. So right now he doesn't know I'm a thief, but as soon as you start taking things, why are you taking this? It's ours. And he just realized that we are a thief. We're here to steal. You're the bandits. I heard they rob people blind. Yes, I am the bandit here. So we just became the bandit. Unfortunately, this door you cannot open without the key. What the hell are you doing? So he knows that he's in trouble, and he tells his wife Helena to run. Now they're old, they're frail, they don't really have any weapons, and all they have is sugar, water, and resources that you actually need. So I'm gonna take their water. I'll leave them a little bit, but it's not really gonna help them. So let's actually take everything that we can in here, and this I cannot open either. And so here comes another morality or moral choice you have to make. At this point, you have already established yourself as a thief. What will you do next? Are you going to actually go further? Are you going to kill them, essentially? And this game does allow you this choice. It does give you a choice of, you know, killing people for survival. Now, in my previous game, I have done that, and I've actually basically you kind of punch them until they move no longer. And it's a really difficult choice to make. And the thing is, if you make that choice, there's no going back. This person becomes a murderer, and he'll even talk to himself, saying things like, well, I had to do it. I had to do it for survival. You know, what else could I have done? And they even give you this letter to read that kind of really makes you put this in perspective. So there's a letter from his granddaughter, letter from Grandpa Bernard to Alan. We're happy to learn that you've come to live like living with an auntie. The war is not that bad. It's just not fun for children. In fact, they say it will be over soon. So don't worry about us. Grandma is feeling better. She asked me not to tell you, but she's saving some flour to make you those cookies you like. And as for me, well, I promise you to repair the swing when you're back. So yes, basically they're a normal family. They're essentially just people trying to survive, and they have a granddaughter. They have their own lives, and you're about to take this all away. Now, what I'm here for is, of course, medicine and food. So I'm gonna leave them. I'm gonna not kill them, obviously. I'm gonna leave them alive, but I am stealing their things. So when we come back to our oh, they have more medicine for me. When we come back to our hideout, we'll actually have a little bit of introspection to do. I don't need fertilizer because we're not growing anything. I need medicine. I also need this. So to take this, I may have to put down I think books. Yeah, books are not as useful for me right now. Alright, so now I'm just gonna run back to the exit. So there was a choice here of basically striking them down and taking whatever is on their body, and usually it's just medicine because they are old and they're sick. But we decided to just rob them and run away. Now he returns back to his hideout, and he'll have to retrospect a little bit, or introspect a little bit about it. He'll start talking to himself, he'll start writing his own notes about it. He comes back really depressed. Here, your meds, I hope they're worth it. And there you go, he's not sure what he's done, he's not sure about himself. He'll do a little bit of thinking about what has been done. But he did bring pills for Katya because she needs the medicine. And she is his close friend. I know it's wrong, but I had to take what we need, otherwise we'd have no chance. That's his justification for what he's done. Bruno thinks that I don't care where and how Pavle got supplies, but I'm glad he didn't return empty-handed. And Katya thinks, I hope those elderly people have some family to support them. We shouldn't steal from them anymore. So she thinks that it was a bad thing to do and we shouldn't return to that location. But what has been done has been done. So that's how this game works. There's a lot of really difficult choices, and that is why the music right now is a little bit depressing as well. So let's continue. Let's actually play for a few more minutes. She's very weak. She actually needs the medicine, so I'm going to go ahead and give her that because she is very sick, and she can essentially die if I don't treat her. So this medicine was for her to save her life. So right now he's going to say that she is on meds, and she's very sad because we've done what we've done. So she's also she's slept poorly and she's tired, but I'm gonna actually let this guy sleep in the bed first, and she is going to go and dig this pile right here. Pavle is going to try to open this. If it's openable, no, it's not. Okay, we need a lockpick for that. So he's going to be next for the bed. He's going to sleep in there next. Meanwhile, let's see if we can actually construct something else. I do need to make a cooking stove so I can start cooking. And I think this guy right here is a good cook. Yeah, Bruno is a cook because he used to own a restaurant, so he can actually make food for us. But look at that, we don't have enough stuff. Oh no, never mind, looking at the wrong thing. We have to make this. Now this is still sort of fall season, and it does slowly head toward the winter when we actually have to construct a heater so we can heat ourselves and not freeze to death. And why did she stop? Don't stop. Keep digging. She's next for the bed. So as soon as Bruno wakes up, he's going to be cooking and also digging as well. And while Pavle is going to go take a rest. He's going to go for a little rest as soon as we finish digging things out. So he's hungry, he's sad, and he's tired. His hunger we can cure by giving him one of these canned food thingies that we just found. And let's see what we actually have. Yeah, we don't have much. We have a lot of sugar, which we don't really need because we're not going to make any. Oh, look, he's already talking to himself. I didn't leave much for those old people. So this is going to be happening for a few days actually. He's going to regret what he's done. Now I'm also waiting for the trader to come because we do need him to help us a little bit. I can't let the illness get the better of me. She's not feeling good. Alright, so go sit down. You're tired, go sit down. You go to bed. You start cooking. Now, as a survival game, this is probably as hard as they get. I mean, I haven't actually played a survival game that was more challenging than this, where you have to worry about everything, including your mood, including your state of being. And I'm gonna make 2 fire. Wait, what are you doing? Yeah, this is just firewood to make food, and then we're gonna start making food itself. Because he's a good cook, so he's gonna be able to make some really good food. If you eat this food, it's actually raw, so it's not gonna give you much nutrition. But you can make good food using fresh water and fire. So here we go. We're gonna have some food now, so we can actually feed ourselves for a few days. as long as we can find enough firewood and enough water, we'll be fine. Actually, water we can collect using this. And he's hungry, so eat your own food. Let's try it. Let's try our own food and see how it tastes. Now, like I was saying before, I think this is a brilliant game to use in class, mostly because it has so many themes here. I have not even found a single book or a single movie that deals with so many themes as this game does. I mean, this is just brilliant, and this is after what? Only 15-20 minutes of playing. So for a teacher that wants to be actually progressive and wants to use something a little bit different, I think this is a perfect game. And it's not very expensive. It's an indie game, so it doesn't cost that much, and it's often on sale as well, so you can actually probably even message the developers of this game, because as an indie developer they'll probably reply very fast, and they'll probably even be able to give you some sort of a special educational deal, because I've had that done before. I've messaged companies and they've sold me their games a little bit cheaper because I'm a teacher and I do like to use these in class. Alright, so she is no longer hungry. She's still a little bit sick. She slept poorly, so she's going to be resting in bed. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to dig this thingy out. This guy's just sad, and she can go to bed. So let's see what's behind this. We're going to try to dig this out. Katya doesn't look well. Alright, so they're all worried about Katya, so maybe taking the medicine from the old people was actually something that will help us as well. Now we're about to go into our second night, and I think she was just saying that the old woman didn't look well. I hope she's well. Okay, so now second night, we're gonna go scavenging with the same person again. She's going to sleep in bed and he is going to guard. So we have shelled school, which is obviously empty because it's been shelled. There's no one else there. Abandoned cottage, ruined villa, a supermarket, and the same old house where we can actually go back and see what happened there, because we still have some material left there. We haven't collected everything, but it's also interesting to see what happened to those guys. And I think just for the sakes of showing you something a little bit different, let's go to the school. Let's see what's there. There's some food, there's materials and medicine and parts as well. And if you ever want to find out what happened to those old people, I think you should buy this game and return to the old house and learn the mystery behind what happened to them. I heard they had classes when the shelling started. Poor kids. So this right here indicates that there is someone moving around. This can be anyone, including animals. It can also be just animals. And we're going to find out who that is, because we have to be careful. We don't have any weapons. And you hear shelling in the background. Now, for people that are going through Civil War, this game might be a little bit too much, because this is a very serious topic. And it's actually very, very, I don't want to say accurate, but it is very well represented. Yeah, it's a rat. That's just a rat right there. So if you have lived through Civil War or any kind of war, you may find this game a little bit too much. Which is why I kind of really think that it's a really good theme to explore in the classroom, making it a kind of a safe environment for kids to explore. Wait, why am I doing this? Should I be doing this? Okay, let's just do this. Let's try to collect as much as we can. This is actually a really big school. There's a lot of... Look at that. Look how big it is. There's a lot of things we can explore here. I'm gonna just dig this out, see what's behind it, but I think I'm gonna go on top here and try to get to the other side that way. I don't think there's going to be anyone here, and if there is someone here, we're just gonna click this button right here and run to the exit, because we don't have weapons and we don't really know what to do if someone tries to attack us. I mean, I can obviously use my fists, but usually fists are not enough if someone has knives and guns, and people do have knives and guns in this game, and they can obviously defeat you. This is how I lost one of my previous characters. I decided to be friendly to someone I found while scavenging, and they just stabbed me to death. Or stabbed my character to death, that is. If you don't bring a shovel, the digging really takes a long time, but shovels are kind of hard to come by. You can make them later on, but they're also difficult to make as well, because you have to make the shovel blade. If you find a shovel, you'll actually want to carry it with you at all times, because there's quite a lot of these piles you have to dig through. And that was completely useless. There's nothing here. Alright, let's run over here. Let's see what else is in this school. I'm gonna take a sneak a peek inside. There's nothing. So we can go inside, and there's another pile again. You have until about 6 AM to try to go through all of this stuff. And you can always return to this location later as well. So you can actually return the next night and try to collect what you couldn't collect. Now the thing is, you have to always remember that there are people waiting for you back at your hideout. So if you spend too much time scavenging and you don't scavenge anything, you're kind of, making them suffer more. You're really setting them back because they're waiting for you to bring food and medicine, and you're not really bringing them anything. And so bringing shovels, bringing things like lockpicks, or even saw to open certain locations is actually something you may want to consider if you play through this more seriously, if you actually take this game really seriously and you want to try to succeed and survive for a long time. Now, I've never actually been able to finish this game, so I don't really know if the war actually ends at some point. But I have gotten to a few weeks into the game, and it does get really difficult. Even if you have the food and if you have water, you'll still have to survive other elements, such as other people, for example. People will try to... can I open this? Yes, I can. People will try to, steal from you. They'll try to kill you, and they'll also try to make your life more miserable. But there's also some nice people you'll meet. Like in one of my playthroughs, I met my neighbor who actually needed help, and when I helped him, specifically his brother got shot actually. After I helped him, he returned the favor. He actually brought some supplies for us. Now, this only seems to have wood and materials, which is something I still need as well, but nothing in terms of food or medicine as promised. Usually schools have nurses, right? So we have to find a nurse's office, I think. We still have 3 hours to go through this stuff. I'm not going to collect any more of this because I don't really need it. But it's good to know that this is where I can come back later to get some wood and some materials for building. Won't open. What do you mean? Here we go. Okay, so I see there's a grate right there that has something behind it, and you need to have a saw to open this. I don't have a saw yet, so I can't open this door yet. So this is a location you may want to return to, or I may want to return to later. I did find electric parts. I'm gonna take these. These are a little bit more rare, and you can use them to build things like radios, for example, so that you can then listen to the news, make your mood a little bit higher, but also discover things about the war, which may or may not save your life. Let's actually drop one pile of wood and collect these, because they're a little bit more rare. I heard some footsteps right here, so I want to see what this is. It doesn't show us yet. The sun is rising, I gotta move. There's a hiding spot right here, which is... Oh, there's someone inside. They took my food again. Yeah, can always count on friends. Alright, so we're actually gonna try to attack this guy, because I want to show you how the battle works. And here we go. And this guy is now down. So we've just killed him. And there's also someone else. The Dawn has caught Pablo. It will be harder to return. Alright, so I didn't get to loot his... loot whatever it was on his body. But essentially this is how the game works. So basically you have to make these really difficult choices about survival. Oh, and look at that, we've been raided. Someone came at night to take our things by force. We're attacked at night. Someone tried to rob us. They didn't seem very determined, so they didn't do much harm. There've been some problems, but we hope Pablo will be back soon. We didn't have any weapons to protect ourselves, so we've lost some things. And... but it looks like they didn't really take anything, because I don't think we had much to take. And yeah, so this is only day 3 and we're already in trouble. Look, Katya is recovering, she's wounded, she's hungry, this guy is hungry and tired, and we're still waiting for Pablo to come back. He's going to bring some things, but not a lot. He's mostly bringing materials to for building, and so our life here is not actually much easier than it was in the beginning. Anyway, so this is what the game is like in a nutshell. I'm really enjoying this particular theme, and I'm also enjoying this game a lot. It's definitely one of the more depressing games you'll play in a lifetime, but it's also really worth playing just because it deals with these really difficult topics that many people in the world have to go through every day. So it does give you an idea of what it's like to live through the war. Anyway, I'm gonna pause this here. Thank you guys for watching. This is a game called This War of Mine, and this has been What the Math with a short review and a gameplay of this awesome title. Give this a try, it's an absolutely brilliant game. I'm posting the link for this game in the description below, and if you have any comments, post them in the comment box below as well. Thank you for watching, please subscribe, and game you later. Bye bye.